They give people a new way to interact with each other.
Time zones and distance don't really matter. Japan and Europe, America, wherever. So.
You meet people at random playing a video game, and all of a sudden you guys are online video game pals.
There's so many different ways that people can relate just by simply playing the same game.
Video games have connected people since the beginning.
Yeah!
And the internet has made it easier than it has ever been.
Woohoo! What the fuck is happening to you both back there?
Yeah!
You're not part of it, Ross.
I'm not. I'm honestly not.
Here are some accounts from a couple friends about how we were connected so long ago.
We became friends, let me think, was it 6 years ago? On a Minecraft server. That was an interesting time, to say the least. We met through our buddy Zach, who again we met through online, and we've just been playing ever since. I mean, it's just kind of how it's worked out for us.
Roughly, I think it was around 7 years ago now. It was through our friend Miles. We were playing Minecraft together, and I remember you and me were both up late. It was probably, I want to say like 11 or midnight or something, because it was late for me, but it was still 2 hours behind for you. And I started talking to you, and then we added each other on Skype and kept talking, and from there we just kept playing Minecraft together, and then later on different games, and through all past years, we've stayed connected between you, me, Dylan, Patrick, and just kept playing together.
Our friendships formed many years ago, but even now that I reside in California, we still get together and game pretty often. Any game can bring people many experiences.
Depending on like the type of game that you're playing, usually online multiplayers, shooters especially, they end up working really well, because when you play games like Destiny and Destiny 2 or Titanfall or League of Legends or Fortnite, PUBG, etc., just to name like newer, fresher ones, Overwatch, you can have an open mic policy with everybody that you're playing with, and it's a great way to build playing as a team. And if you like each other, you end up continuously playing until you ultimately add each other as friends, just because you enjoy hanging out and you enjoy playing video games together. I've made a couple of friends from the East Coast in Wisconsin, and like I've never been there, in Connecticut, and people from Oregon.
You can hop into a car with your friends and drive around the entire city of Los Angeles, taking sick jumps and like trying to get into like video game shenanigans in Grand Theft Auto, or you can play some sort of game and build a team so that you can play some competitive games like League of Legends. I think that there's honestly a lot of really, really different ways that video games can kind of connect people, and I think that just like that concept of connection is something that's only existed in this era, but it's such an open-ended thing because there's so many ways that video games can connect people. I think more than anything, the best way that video games help people connect to each other is it gives them a sandbox to play in together.
While gaming does bring fun, positive experiences to the player, the online community sometimes isn't the greatest. Those unpleasant gamers everyone encounters at least once in their gaming lives are referred to as toxic, ragers, or, for the younger versions, squeakers.
At least I have a kill, dude.
Quit killing my whole team, man. Nobody cares about your KD. Quit trying so damn hard.
I'm talking about KD. We said kills. You
know what the K in KD stands for? It stands for kills.
And fucking death ratio, you fucking dumbass little bitch.
I often prefer a single player experience because I can have less problems of other people ruining or interfering with said experience, because sometimes online gaming can be as much of a hindrance as a burden, but not always. Actually, not often at all. If you look into the right communities.
They antagonize you even after you've already lost. So there's plenty of games where whenever they kill you, they immediately start teabagging your body, the motion of like crouching up and down. Like there's times where you get forced offline because somebody's being a jackass while they're playing. It starts to get people aggravated, and they either take it out through the game, just chasing down the one guy who was harassing, or they quit.
Everyone has dealt with these gamers, but there tends to only be a few, at least in my own personal experience. One area of the gaming community that doesn't appear to have many toxic gamers is gaming conventions. Video game conventions, like PAX, E3, and many others, are fantastic events where the community gets together to have fun. Whether it's checking out booths of art and games not yet released, taking part in tournaments, or just having a fun time dressing up in cosplay and talking to people, it's always a great time. Here are some stories of the latest experiences at PAX East this April.
For what I do at PAX, I typically, because I went all 4 days, I spend the first day looking out for merch and stuff, anything I want to buy, and like that I think is memorable for me in this experience. And anything after that in that day is just explore, try out new things, play games, meet new people, stuff like that.
So this year PAX, we met these two guys by just sitting down and playing board game. And we had a fantastic time with them. I mean, every single day after that, playing the board game, we grouped up with them. We either walked around the convention or played more board games or stuff like that with them together, and that was a whole lot of fun.
Well, the first day was very chaotic, finding a place to stay, finding parking, getting to the convention when thousands and thousands of other people are there, and parking prices are jacked up, and not to mention there was a Red Sox game. Shortly after we got there, we sat down and we met you guys. And honestly, that changed the course of our entire weekend. Both Antone and I weren't expecting to make friends with a group of people, and that, I feel like that definitely had an effect on how we spent our weekend.
It was a lot of fun to be able to connect with someone like that on things we found cool or similar that we had in common. But I honestly wasn't sure how much like of a connection we'd have with them. But it turns out it was quite a big one, I think, honestly.
I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of people that I play games with generally are either the upstuck kind of quiet type, meaning they either don't want to like meet other people. They're just there because they like the game and they don't want a new group coming in because that would intrude on them. But these two guys, I mean, they were fantastic from the start. They were happy that we joined them because they didn't expect anyone else to sit down, and we had a blast with them. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
We did so much more stuff because we had a group of people to do it with. We enjoyed our Dungeons and Dragons session. We had our our one-off right there. Unfortunately, you didn't have your voice, but we totally fucked it up. It did not go as planned by any means. What else was there? I got to meet some of the people that created the games that I love so much, the games that brought us all there. I got to learn about the new games coming. We got to see the orchestra that did the music for one of my favorite games, Final Fantasy 15, and it was a life-changing experience. It was so awesome. And just after the show, I got to meet the entire orchestra. I got to meet the orchestrator, the producer, everything, and he signed my shield. I entered the raffle for Square Enix and got texted the second day I was at PAX saying, "Hey, you won, come to our booth to pick up your prize." And I got a signed copy of the soundtrack for Kingdom Hearts, all the Kingdom Hearts games, by the orchestrator. Like, yeah, it was like, PAX is such a different opportunity to, like, if you're a geek, to experience different things. For instance, meeting the people who create the games that bring you all together. Or like the Power Glove concert, for instance. That was another thing that I wouldn't have normally been able to experience because it was free for people that were attending the convention.
Power Glove, named after the NES controller accessory, is a power metal cover band that is known for playing classic video game themes. On the second to last night of PAX East this year, they were one of 3 bands that performed at the convention hall.
Like they were really cool band, and it was fun. And I think it captured a lot of nostalgia from a lot of people.
I think that video game cover bands, they have their own niche audience. I don't know how big they really can get. Because they're kind of a niche thing, I don't imagine that they have the hemorrhaging market of people that would be really, really actively listening to them, but I think that they still have their own really cool careers and possibilities of growing as much as they can and growing a committed audience underneath them. And so long as they continue creating content, they'll have an audience that is still interested in listening to their stuff.
I honestly think video games are great, and it's a great way for community building, but sometimes you got to put a limit on it because you'll be up until 8 in the morning and you have class in half an hour.
It's very nice, easy to have a customized experience of playing what you want with people that you want to play with whenever you want.
They're on their own journey, making their own adventures and their own memories all through this video game like we are, and it's kind of cool seeing that, like, you can see different groups of friends all playing games together.
All this started because I became friends with Dylan and I became friends with you all those years ago, and we just kept playing since. And you guys have been stuck by me all these years, and I haven't had anyone that stayed that long. Anyone close to that, I think. I mean, I still have contacts with old people from back then, but not on the scale that we talk like to each other on a day-to-day basis or every couple weeks or so.
They give you the chance to socialize. They give you the chance to sit down and play with people you wouldn't otherwise have that opportunity to do. So that's one thing I'm thankful for, and that's one thing I didn't expect.
I came here knowing no one, and here I am meeting all these people.